What if Tai Lung's true enemy was never Po? What if his greatest battle was against something we all carry inside? Not fear, not anger, but something much more silent. Expectation. Imagine being adopted as a child by a legendary Kung Fu master, growing up in a sacred temple, surrounded by discipline, tradition, and one single promise. If you are worthy, you will become the Dragon Warrior. Tai Lung lived with that promise burning in his chest. Day after day, he trained. Night after night, he dreamed. And with every victory, his belief grew stronger. This is who I'm meant to be. But destiny doesn't always follow the rules we imagine. When Master Oogway denied him the title of Dragon Warrior, something inside Tai Lung didn't just crack, it collapsed. Not because of the decision itself, but because his entire identity was tied to that one expectation. In Kung Fu Panda, Tai Lung is introduced as a villain, a threat to peace, a fallen student turned monster. But there's more to him than just fury and fists. Tai Lung is a master of Kung Fu, forged through years of discipline, pain, and ambition. Yet, despite his strength, his story ends in defeat, not just physical, but spiritual. His journey is not just a fall from grace. It is the unraveling of someone who became too hard to bend. Tai Lung was once the pride of the Jade Palace, an orphaned snow leopard adopted by Master Shifu, who trained him with intense care and discipline. And Tai Lung wasn't just good, he was exceptional. He mastered the 1,000 scrolls of Kung Fu, achieving feats no student before him had accomplished. To Shifu, Tai Lung was a son. To Tai Lung, Kung Fu was identity, purpose, and proof that he deserved greatness. This is where his path begins to harden, not in violence, but in expectation. The harder he trains, the more rigid his beliefs become. If I am strong, I deserve the Dragon Scroll. If I succeed, I will fulfill my destiny. This fixation on destiny is his first break from Taoist principles, where destiny is not seized, but allowed to unfold. In Taoism, a Chinese philosophical and spiritual tradition dating back over 2,000 years, the key to life is to live in harmony with the Tao, or the Way. Laozi, the legendary author of the Tao Te Ching, often uses metaphors of water, wind, and nature to explain the Tao's principles. One of the most famous verses says, "Men are born soft and supple. Dead, they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant. Dead, they are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life." This principle, that softness is strength and rigidity leads to destruction, is a thread that runs through all of Kung Fu Panda. And nowhere is its violation more clearly seen than in Tai Lung. Tai Lung internalizes a worldview where power equals worth. He believes he's entitled to become the Dragon Warrior, not because of humility, but because of effort. So when Oogway sees the darkness in his heart and denies him the scroll, Tai Lung doesn't reflect or question. He attacks. He becomes violent because he cannot bend. His path is fixed. His mind is rigid. In Taoism, this is the beginning of death, not literal, but spiritual. A soul that cannot adapt becomes dry, brittle, and breaks under pressure. After his defeat, Tai Lung is imprisoned for 20 years. During this time, he doesn't soften or grow. He hardens further. His silence becomes resentment. His patience becomes fury. When he escapes, it is not as a seeker of truth. It is as an agent of vengeance. The contrast between Tai Lung and Po couldn't be sharper. Tai Lung is all control, trained, precise, intimidating. Po is chaotic, unpredictable, soft, both in body and spirit. But where Tai Lung is stuck in a story he wrote for himself, a script he cannot deviate from, Po flows with whatever life throws at him. He fails. He laughs. He struggles. He adapts. He is ridiculed. He keeps going. And eventually, he finds mastery, not by resisting who he is, but by embracing it. In Taoism, water is the ultimate symbol of power. It yields, yet wears away stone. It nourishes, yet can drown mountains. It flows wherever it is needed. Po is like water. Tai Lung is like stone. And when the two meet, we already know how the story ends. Tai Lung returns to the Jade Palace, not seeking peace, but demanding recognition, still obsessed with the scroll, still chasing a destiny that never existed.
When he finally opens the scroll, he finds nothing, just a reflection. For Po, this is liberation, a reminder that greatness comes from within. For Tai Lung, it is an insult, proof that he was denied his birthright. And that's the tragedy. He doesn't understand. The scroll didn't fail him. His expectation did. He fights Po with all his strength. But Po, flowing with the moment, countering, with softness and surprise, defeats him not by overpowering, but by outlasting. Po uses Tai Lung's own strength against him. The Wuxi Finger Hold, a technique Tai Lung dismissed as childish, ends him. The one who could not bend, breaks. Tai Lung fights with all his power, Po with all his flexibility. And in the end, the one who adapts wins. Po uses Tai Lung's strength against him, and the warrior who never learned to bend finally breaks. Tai Lung's tragedy isn't that he lost a fight, it's that he never learned to let go of the image of who he thought he had to be. Over time, Shifu does come to understand this. He becomes softer, wiser, and Po finds the true path, not resisting, not forcing, but flowing. Because water, though soft, cuts through stone. And sometimes, the greatest strength is knowing when to yield. Tai Lung is a tragic villain because he could have been more. He had the strength, the discipline, the heart, but not the humility. He could never let go of what he thought he deserved, and in doing so he lost everything he had. Po becomes the dragon warrior not because he conquered anyone, but because he found his way. In Taoism, this is the ultimate victory, to live according to your nature, to adapt, to flow, to be like water. Tai Lung's downfall isn't just the fall of a warrior, it's the collapse of someone who couldn't let go. He chased destiny with clenched fists, but in the end, it slipped through his grasp. Taoism teaches us that water endures where stone shatters, that the soft can overcome the hard, and that sometimes the greatest strength is knowing when to yield. So ask yourself, are you flowing with life or fighting against it? Are you more like Tai Lung or like Po? Are you flowing with life or clinging to what should be? If this breakdown made you see Tai Lung in a new light, let us know in the comments. Who should we analyze next? Have you ever experienced the power of letting go? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and flow with us for more wisdom. Until next time, stay soft, stay strong, be like water, strong.